Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast. Oh, shit. I pressed the wrong key for the horns. Hey, what's good, y'all?
Jesus.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode 60, Big 60. We're back. This is Sunday. I keep on forgetting the days now, I swear to God. We got my co-host in the building. I was gonna say usual crew, but I can't right now. That's gonna be something we'll talk about this week for the people on the pre-show. Y'all kind of got a hint of what's coming next for the pod. But we got Damo in the building. Say what's up to the people.
What's up?
All right, okay. And today we got a guest. We got another guest. We're filling up the guest lineups. We got Rudy St. Clair in the building. Say what's up to the people.
Yes, sir. That would be me. Happy to be on. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. No problem. I peeped the Draymond jersey in the back. The Marc Gasol. I'm feeling the stretch big vibes.
Right. I have a type.
He has a
As a type.
So for the people who don't know who you are, just give them a quick intro, man, because I feel like you're more of the behind the scenes guys right now in terms of the NBA YouTube community. But you're on you're on Rusty's pod a little bit here and there, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I just do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff for some NBA YouTubers, Rusty Buckets especially. I edit virtually all of his videos. The deep dives he edits himself. That's like where he gets to have fun editing. That's where I am useful for him, is freeing up the time to enable him to do the deep dives, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've edited for Low. You hired me to edit for you one time.
Yeah, I don't know. My editing situation's just whack. Other dudes, I contact them here and there, but I just end up editing my own videos. But.
Yeah. And but I also make my own videos. I've been uploading more recently. I took about a 6-month hiatus from uploading, just sort of focused on editing and getting gigs like editing for Let's Keep It a Buck. And I host the Rusty and Mojo show with Rusty and Mojo over there every week now. So
you're an official co-host now there.
Oh yeah, full time every week.
Congrats.
Congratulations, man. Yo, who was this dude in the chat spamming? Anyways,
Beluga was taken.
This dude right here. Real quick, shout out to the Spotify people. Shout out to the iTunes people. Leave us a 5-star. Get us in the algos good. Shout out to YouTube as well. Second episode back, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
Season 2, baby.
Season 2, episode 2. What's good, y'all? Shout out to Twitch, follower chat in the building. We got the regulars right now, Pizza Bagels, Rose, CMB in the chat. Shout out to Instagram. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone that supports us. Especially because I know we're a pod that, we're one of the most unstable pods out there. Like some people, episode 1 is just boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's just constant growth, but we make a lot of adjustments on here. We're a dynamic pod, as one would say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I guess we have another big announcement this week, but we'll get them when we get there. Rudy, I'll fill you in after the pod. I don't know if Dom already told you, but...
Nah.
All right. So how's everyone been doing? This week?
I've been cool, bro. Just chilling. I've been cool, bro. No cool, bro. I've just been chilling. Just living, killing.
Killing
it out here. Killing out here in these TikTok streets.
Rudy, how about you, bro? How you been recently?
Pretty happy for the most part. Jacob went on vacation. For those who don't know, that's Rusty's real name. But Jacob Buckets went on vacation, so that means I've had a little bit less responsibility on my plate.
Gotcha.
But I did have to edit like 5 or 6 videos for him in rapid succession over the course of like a day and a half.
Mm-hmm. So how's that workflow like? Editing for Rusty, because especially last year he was on that daily grind, but now
Mhm.
Recently, he's slowed down on that daily shit. He's been doing the deep dives, which you said you don't edit. That's like his time to have fun. So what's that workflow like? How many hours does it take to edit a typical Rusty vid? That type of shit.
I mean, it really just depends. They're pretty consistently similar. So in the beginning, it would take multiple hours, right? And
Mm.
if I didn't get right on top of it by the time he sent it to me, then by the time I'd have it finished, it'd be a little bit too late. So now it really rarely takes more than a couple hours to edit the footage that he sends me.
Mm.
I got a couple tools to help me out to speed up the process a little bit, but mostly just comes in from putting in the reps and doing it so consistently. Because like when he was doing videos 5 to 7 times a week, I meant I was editing a video, 5 to 7 times a week
Yeah.
last year. So it was just very consistent work, and I would, you know, keep my schedule open just so basically at the drop of a hat when Jacob would send me a video, I'd just be right on top of it,
Yeah.
get it to him for optimal uploading time.
Yeah. I would imagine at least last year, with it being daily, like you guys would split the workload. But shit, congrats to you, man. Shit, that's a lot of fucking videos, bro. A lot of
Yeah, I mean,
videos.
he uh he definitely edited some of them when he was on the daily grind, but I was doing the majority for sure.
Yeah. Um. So, do you think the fact that Rusty isn't a voiceover? Because I feel like if it was like a low vid where it does require a lot of editing, if Rusty wasn't the face cam guy, you know what I'm saying, where his takes are, more sit down, more conversational feeling. Do you think
Hmm.
that the editing would be much different than it is right now?
Oh yeah, for sure. It would be radically different because having just that face cam as like a base level foundation for your edit is so much easier than having to go through the whole creative process for every single frame. Whereas when you have a setup like Jacob where you're talking directly into the camera, it gives the editor, whether it be, someone that you go to offshore like me or do yourself, uh, it's a lot easier to have that baseline foundation of a face cam rather than having to find footage and pictures to just use in succession for
Yeah.
100% of the video.
Yeah, I also feel like there's certain moments when you edit a video where it's like you don't really need NBA footage on the screen. It's just like it's fine if the guy's talking. Or like recently what I've been doing is if you use After Effects, you can make like an audio spectrum thing. So you know how when you look up those like instrumentals on YouTube, they have the circle thing and it like goes on beat and shit. Like essentially I found out how to do that and it takes like 10 seconds. So that's a good way to fill up time. Also, pro tip if y'all are trying to get away from them copyright demons, learn After Effects or literally the most basic thing. I watched like a 5 minute fucking tutorial, and that's it. As long as you have the software.
Yeah.
Um,
I used to be really kind of like adamant against using tutorials just because it was sort of a fun, organic, creative process to figure out how to create an effect on your own by just hunting around. But I've kind of grown out of that just out of the need to be a bit more professional about it and just get it done rather than have fun, you know?
mm. So speaking of that, like, where did the origins of you? When did you start like video editing? More specifically, like NBA content. Like how that and how did how'd you meet Rusty? How'd you
Mhm.
make that connection as well?
Well, for the first part of your question, I started editing probably around 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like super consistent with it until probably 2018. But I was always just interested in video editing and audio and stuff like that. And it's mostly content creation, like that's the shit that's most common for people to aspire to as teenagers, right? So when I got out of the house and moved off to college, I made a YouTube channel and originally posted like 5 or 6 videos about like consumer technology type stuff. And
Yeah.
my first video I made was like I just did it overnight, like record, edit, upload, and it got like a few thousand views, so I was pretty happy with that.
That's how it always happens, bro. I swear to God. It's always the videos where you spend like 2 weeks editing that does like mediocre, and then it's that one video that where you literally think of on the spot. You know what I'm saying? And then that shit blows up. But
Yeah, it was actually just because of Microsoft announced like a fitness band, and they did their press release in the middle of the World Series, so like no one was paying attention to it at all. So I had like a nice window of time to be like the first person to it, basically.
yeah.
So
What
for
was it? Watch.
it's the Microsoft band, yeah.
Dom, you remember that? Dom says like, what the fuck is that?
I ain't got no fitness watch from Microsoft. I ain't heard about that one.
You
That's
don't
new
need for a
to me.
fitness watch.
This was like before the Apple Watch even came out. It was a while ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was just like I got to be the first to market as far as like making a YouTube video about that. That only lasted like a day and a half or whatever, probably at the absolute max, before every established media outlet just cranked out their video for it.
Here comes MKBHD with my 1 million view video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no video I made after that really got the same level of traction, and I was super new to it, so like I wasn't prepared to just like hit that wall of failure, but like now sort of being around it and analyzing it more over the years, I just sort of understand like that's the norm. Like to do a sort of creative profession like this, you have to be prepared to just like be shitty at it for a really long time
Yeah.
before you like see any really significant success, because that's just the nature of it. It's how it goes. Very, very rarely do you have someone like Emma Chamberlain who just like picks up a camera one summer and goes viral.
Very rare. Yeah.
Mm.
There's definitely a
I
lot of
wish.
growing pains with it. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think there's any YouTuber that was just like crazy out the gate, whether that be with the thumbnails or their editing style, unless you already had like previous television creator background. Like I know NBA Storyteller mentioned that he's worked with some media stuff before starting his YouTube channel. So his first video, he already had editing experience. But yeah, there is a lot of growing pains when it comes to making content. No one starts out good. No one starts out definitely great. But you just kind of push through it, and all it takes is one video. You just fucking snowball that shit, and you got a career.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, there's so much money in this; it's kind of insane. But people want to be entertained. People watch screens most of the day now, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But you mentioned NBA Storyteller, and that's a natural segue into the second part of your question earlier about how I met Jacob. If I remember correctly, it was just because of my old podcast. I don't really do anymore. It's because I'm so much more busy with other stuff and trying to focus more on like YouTube videos more so than the podcast as far as like stuff for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But on my old podcast, I would interview like NBA YouTubers and people like that and ask them like very general questions about their creative process, kind of get a little bit of a behind the scenes look on stuff. And one of the people I had on there was Emio, the NBA Storyteller, and Jacob listened to that because he's a big fan of Emio. And after that, he agreed to come on to my podcast. And I think the first time we talked was the first time he was on my podcast. And then he came back on like 2, maybe 3 more times. And eventually, we just got closer to where we were like just legitimately friends. And he started talking about just how stressed he was doing these daily uploads. I'm like, I mean, I know how to do this shit for you.
It's like, hey, I'm right here, man. Hey.
Right. Exactly. So
That's sick. That's sick though.
Matt,
You just never know who you're gonna meet, bro. Like me with SDC, I fucking met him through a MCN feature with Playmakers. Like you would think like those like gimmicky let's collaborate features wouldn't work, and I'm pretty sure 95% of the time it didn't. But with me and SEC, that just ended up working out. Dom, I met through the fucking comment section
Of his own video.
of my video. We weren't on like someone else's video, and we're like, "Yo, you trying to make a pod or some shit?"
Yeah.
Dom hit
I
me
legit-
up. Yeah.
I legit went on his like legit crazy. Like I don't. It's crazy for me every time I think about it. I legit went.
Me too,
just
bro.
Typed, hey man, love your videos, and I'm just trying to. I just like talk about basketball. I didn't ask for no tips.
Yeah.
I didn't need shit. I like talking about basketball. So if you ever need somebody to talk about basketball with, I didn't think this shit through. Just if you ever need somebody to talk about basketball with, bro, just let me know, man. I offered to spot on the podcast. I was like, it's that easy? Okay, I should have been did this shit. All right. Well, damn.
Yeah. No, because back then, like when I started out, I was legitimately, my goal was, again, 20,000 subs max. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to build a community of like 10,000, 20,000 people that I knew every single one of. Like, I wasn't in it for the millions of subscribers, millions of views type shit. Now it's kind of different, I ain't gonna lie. But, you know. It's just changed.
No, big numbers, big numbers.
Hey, what's some CPS coming, you know? hey, but real quick, shout out to Double D Worth for the sub. He said, hello, Rudy. Big fan, sign my tits. Your response?
Yeah. No, I mean, I will digitally sign Double D's non-Double D tits.
Hey, make an NFT, bro.
Oh man.
Right. I'll sell it to him for $1 million.
Y'all see these new NFT? I think The Weeknd is dropping like an NFT song. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Man,
Same thing with Playboy Cardi.
it's like I
Fuck is
get
that?
it. It's cool, but like, fuck NFTs. This shit's stupid.
You don't fuck with NFTs? Dom, you don't know what an NFT is?
No.
NBA Top Shot is an NFT. Essentially.
Oh, that shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right.
Except technically, well, the more practical use of it right now is digital art. So you can you can mint your digital art and say, there's only 50 legitimate copies of these in the world. Sell them. And the cool thing about NFTs is when every time a piece of your art gets resold, because it's digitally tracked, the original maker of it actually gets a 10% cut every single time.
That's what's up, actually.
Yeah, but it seems like Rudy doesn't like it. So what's the pushback?
I don't know how you could design a part of the blockchain to like incorporate the kickback like that. That would be super cool. I mean, I fuck with it in terms of like giving digital artists a way to like make their stuff unique, have like a original copy as opposed to, just being able to rip it off of Google Images and remove the watermark or whatever,
Yeah.
But I just think it's hilarious how we're just putting a price tag on just a receipt on the blockchain, like, because that's all it really is. It's just a receipt. It's just like kind of a contract, sorta, that just says I own this because it's on here and it says I do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird, and I get the concept, especially with digital art. I feel like the most practical sense is digital art. But, like, I just don't get this idea of just because there's 50 in the world or 3 in the world, you can instantly mark it at $1 million. Like, technically, you could mark whatever product you want at whatever price. But, like, the example I always take is, like, if I make 5 blankets handmade, just because there's 5 of them in the world, does that mean they're valued at $200,000 a pop?
If that's what you value them as, yes. I mean, I think it's that simple. It's to the maker. Like, for example, LeVar Ball with the BBB shoes. Obviously, them shoes weren't shit. But he came out and said, I'm selling luxurious, whatever the fuck you say the word. I'm selling that's like luxury shoes. Like, I'm not selling regular Nikes. I'm not selling Vans. I'm selling luxury shoes. So these shoes will be sold at luxury prices. Therefore, if you don't want luxury shoes, nigga, don't pay for them. Like, these ain't for you. These are for big ballers. That's all it is. I don't see a problem with it. If there's somebody that's stupid enough to pay $50,000 for a digital image or something, nigga, that's your money. That ain't got shit to do with me. Like,
Yeah, that's fine with me. But
I don't think it's worth $50,000. But if you think it's worth $50,000, cool. Like, that's like with Pokemon cards. I don't give a damn. I'm not paying 6 figures for a Pokemon card. But there's people that will. Like,
yeah,
they find it valuable.
That's
I
true.
mean, it's just rich people shit. It's just stuff
Facts.
for us to speculate at or marvel at. It's
Yeah.
just a spectacle. It's not really something that's going to meaningfully impact our lives anytime soon. I don't think. Like I just opened my Top Shots pack just to see what was in it, like right before this podcast.
Yeah.
It was
Hmm.
honestly kind of creepy. It's like they knew boys because they gave me a Rudy Gay highlight. They're all like common grade, nothing special. They gave
Yeah.
me a Rudy
Hmm.
Gay highlight, which given my username on there is NBA Rudy, so like that's easy for them to figure out. My name's Rudy.
What the
And then
fuck? Out of
they
all,
gave me
they give you a Rudy Gay one too. Come on, bro.
right. They gave me a Ben Simmons layup, which is cool because like I'm a big Ben Simmons believer. You know, I love to argue with people about the value of Ben Simmons on Twitter. That's just one thing I'll just get major Twitter fingers over is Ben Simmons related arguments. And then the third one, God, I don't even remember it. But regardless, after those two, I just figure that they were buying my data from somewhere. I don't know who. You know,
As soon as you hit
NBA's
that sign up button,
Amazon.
that shit says sign up with Google. Bet. You saw all the logs, bro. Crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, so with the Top Shot, so you legit open a pack and they just give you a ton of like different like highlighted clips or whatever, highlight clips.
Yeah, and then you like own them because like the
Hmm.
receipt on the blockchain says you do.
It's essentially my team.
Yeah, it's just like a card
It's
collecting game.
Yeah.
yeah.
Except there's no game
But that
around
is
it. It's
wow.
just like look value because we say
Hmm.
value.
Yeah.
But my thing is how like I remember when we first talked about this, Bezos, you were saying I don't see it lasting that long or whatever, or it's only gonna last as long as people buy it, and I think that's very true. Like other than if, and you said it was like a Ben Simmons layup. I mean, who the fuck wants a common Ben Simmons layup? Like I don't
But if
like.
there's
What are you
only
gonna
two in
do
the
with that?
world,
Does it tell you how many there are, Rudy?
Yeah, it does. They put an artificial cap on it. Like I can't see the ones that I opened up right before the podcast because apparently it fucking takes a couple hours for it to actually hit your wallet of moments, if you will.
yeah.
But like I got this John Morant one. Uh, there's only 35,000 plus, so like maybe there's more than 35,000.
Yeah.
I got this
Mm.
fucking Zubac from my initial set. It has 15,000.
The thing about Top Shot is
Mhm.
it's scary because they dictate the market. It's not really capitalism if they can like one day there's only 5 of it in the world and then the next day it's like, oh, there's like 50,000 now and we just made like 48,000 in 2 minutes like with a click of a button. That's a scary thing about Top Shot is
Hey man.
I don't know if they'll ever do it, and they probably know the
Mhm.
consequences of it.
Thing about the dollar, you can just all it takes is one administration just to be like, all right, we're just gonna arrange the economy like this, and then also just print a ludicrous amount of money or some crap like that. Just do some nonsense to artificially inflate the value of the dollar.
Yeah,
It could very well happen.
gotta get
But
that Bitcoin, man.
I'm just trying to figure out what's gonna make a player be like. Like if Ben Simmons woke up one morning and was like, you know what? I want that. I want that highlight of that layup I did back in June of 2017, or some weird shit like that. Like what? Like who? Like who's going out here really buying these highlights? Like is there somebody? I don't know. It's like Rudy said, it's some rich people shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I don't get it.
You were high on it when we first talked about it.
I mean, yeah, I'm high on it in terms of people. I'm high on it in terms of like people getting it to flip money or whatever. But looking at it from someone who like that's me looking at it if I'm gonna get into it and I want to get some money out of it. Like it's something new. They're putting money like it's to get money. It's something different, cool. But from the same person, like as a person who I don't understand like card collecting, I don't understand all that extra shit. Like who realistically is going out here buying these highlights? Like what's gonna separate? What's gonna make Ben Simmons say, or who's gonna go out there and be like, yeah, I want this finger roll from goddamn Drew Holiday. Yeah, bro. That like I'm definitely spending 20 bands on this Drew Holiday finger roll. Like I don't understand who's doing that. So yeah, it's a slippery slope. It's
Yeah,
tricky.
I watched a Jimmy High Roller video of it, and essentially the way he broke it down is there really is no value within each Top Shot. Like no one's gonna flex an individual Top Shot for the way it is. It's literally
Mm-hmm.
people are literally in it just for the money aspect. Like if they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna show off a card, it's not because the moment itself is cool. It's because I have a moment worth 20 bands, 30 bands type shit.
But who buying it?
I don't know.
What's the point? Imagine having a wallet full of like Rudy. Imagine you pull a Top Shots pack, right? And instead of commons, it's legendary and rare. It's a one of three Giannis jumping over goddamn Tim Hardaway dunk. Like that's the highlight, and it's valued at 500,000. But you put it on the market and don't nobody buy it. Is it really valued at 500,000? Like who?
I mean, shit, I
How
guess
would you
not. So I
see?
just
Like that's crazy.
That's a problem with Top Shot is when people get these cards, they're like, oh shit, it's really worth this much. But if no one's buying it, it's not worth that much. It's worth
It's
zero.
not.
that's why they're trying
It's
so
not
hard
worth
to
shit.
get people on board with it for real because like they need a large community to simulate this fucking market of nothing where people are just passing around their value trying to make a profit or just trying to get in on the ground floor of something cool and spending money. But no matter what, at the end of the day, it's like the NBA and whatever fucking side company is associated with this. They're just skimming money off of every transaction that happens on here, and it's just making them money. It's not really doing anything for most of the people on here, I guess.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
mean,
That's
maybe even if the beginning, like you get a little bit of profit off of every pack, the amount that you gain is probably petty compared to the amount that like the people at the tip top of this
yeah.
make.
See that's the thing about NFTs is that's where the 10% comes in, and that's why I believe the NBA is like invested somewhat into this because if it does blow up, every fucking transaction they get 10%, every single one, and that adds up really quickly. So my fear is the NBA fucking making NFTs for YouTube with the fucking footage. They're like, if you want to use our footage, pay $20,000 for this 10-minute fucking highlight. You get all the angles though, but you gotta pay 10 bands. I'm like, no, I'm
Right,
on-
right. We'll just,
I'm taking
just
the- I'm taking-
strikes through playmakers and
Yeah.
send emails trying to sell you NFTs.
The day that shit happens, I'm hitting up Rusty for tips and tricks, bro. I swear.
Do you think they so like since this is still at the ground floor, do you think they kind of like the NBA kind of or whoever at Top Shot, they kind of like got into a couple like NBA players' ears and was like, hey man, look, you go on here and buy like 3 of your highlights, man, we'll slide you this amount of money because they got to make it seem like people are really buying this shit, right? Like if everyone's
Yeah, for sure.
buying these packs and got
Yeah.
these collections, but no one's selling them or nobody's showing interest, it's gonna be like this shit's useless. But if you have like who the fuck was it that went on Twitter and was like if anyone can find this highlight, Stephen A. Smith, that's who it was. He was on Twitter. He was like, "Yo, if somebody can find me a highlight of whichever or whatever, I'll buy it for whatever, whatever." Like that, it's too easy for them to go to like, "Hey, yo, Steve, hey man, look, I'll slide you like 500 bands. You just go in here and buy a couple highlights for 50,000. Buy like 2 highlights, 50,000.
Right,
That's the
right.
money though.
They can
Like,
give
it's too easy
away
for them to do
partial
that.
ownership stake in the company. They can give away, legendary cards and stuff that are only set to inflate in value themselves. So there's plenty of ways to incentivize people to act as human billboards and
Yeah.
just be advertisements in themselves.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. They've hit up NBA YouTubers before NBA Top Shot itself blew up.
Mhm.
Like I've gotten hit up by them. This was before I knew everything was, it is what it is. But I've gotten hit up by them. A couple people that do locker rooms. I'm not gonna name out names, but they've. Long story short, they've hit up content creators as well, trying to use their influence, and it takes maybe 10, 20 fans to say, "Oh shit, so and so, we're doing Top Shot. I want to invest in that." And all it takes is 100 or so people to make some good profit off of NBA Top Shot, and then it becomes a storyline. And it just it snowballs just like that. So you never know. You never
Mhm.
know, man.
God damn.
It's too dumb. Real quick though, shout out to Kenny Beecham, king of the fourth quarter. Hit a millie yesterday.
Hey.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Kenny. What were you about to say? I thought you were
I
about to
don't.
say something.
No,
No?
I just said shout out to Kenny.
But shout out
Shout out Big
Kenny.
Ken.
Shout out Big Ken. A guest of the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast. Really gave us a boost, if I'm just being honest.
Stimulus pack.
Yeah, we got a
The
stimulus check with
Drake
that one.
stimmy. The Drake stimmy. Hey.
Hey man, shout out Kenny, man. Hit 1 million subscribers yesterday. One of I don't know anyone who doesn't like Kenny. Like, dude is one of the most genuine people out there. Makes good content, represents the community, for the best. You know what I'm saying? Very down to earth dude. So shout out Kenny, man. Hopefully you can come on the pod again. Need another stimulus check. No, I'm kidding.
Need that Drake bump, especially now.
This dude right here. No, but seriously, the reason I mentioned
business.
Kenny is I feel like what all the stuff he's doing with House of Highlights and just the sponsorships he's gotten, how big he's gotten, I think is a good representative of the potential of NBA YouTube. The opportunities he's getting kind of represents the potential of where sports media is heading in. Compared to traditionally, they pay a couple journalists, beat writers to become the face of ESPN or whatever, and it's just the same 5-6 voices you hear every fucking day, 24/7, same stories on Sports Centers type of shit. But I feel like what Kenny's doing, man, it's really changing the game. It's really changing the game. When he had that picture of him with Kenny Smith, Shaq, Charles Barkley, like seeing a content creator in our community with those names was really motivating for me, and I feel like a lot of NBA YouTubers and just the community as a whole. So I guess the next conversation I want to have is where do y'all think sports media is heading in? Like, what do you think sports media will be in 2028, 7 years from now?
Hopefully, it'll be in a space where they understand that the YouTube side of things has way more impact than the TV side of things and the mainstream media side of things. Like, hopefully, they realize guys like UB guys like, Rusty, guys like Sage, and everything. Like, guys in NBA YouTube, down 2K, low, like, they'll realize having guys like that kind of, have these, I'm not gonna say have crazy takes, but having guys like that with their own legit fan bases and their own, stuff like that, and they know what they're doing. They can edit. They much of okay, we're just gonna sit somebody in front of a camera who literally only either A, played basketball at one point in time, B, went to school for a certain amount of years, in communications or whatever, but they're just sitting in front of the camera talking, but they can't help me produce, they can't help me do anything, they can't help me market. They're nothing but a face. But you have guys on YouTube who they'll make the thumbnails, they can edit the video, they write the scripts, like they're the whole package. Shit, you're saving money hiring these niggas. Like, you don't need a whole team to produce a show. You can just have a sole individual or a couple guys that legit know the entire way of doing things to put out videos to the masses with more influence, honestly, than some guys. Like, who will sit? I know hundreds of thousands of people who will take what Bezos says way more seriously than Kendrick Perkins. Like there's
Which is
way more.
Which is
Like,
kind of scary sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
it's not scary.
Chill.
It's not scary.
I got my own opinions, bro. Like, hey.
But yeah, I think it'll be in a good place. Hopefully, like right now, it's growing. It's in the baby phases. Thanks to guys like Kenny, Mark Korzemba too. He's done some mainstream work. So guys like them are set. They're opening the door for the rest of everybody else in the community to get into this mainstream side of things with the NBA.
Rudy, what do you think? 7 years. How will people access sports takes, stuff like that? Will ESPN just be dead? Will it adjust, do you think? Or
I mean, I don't think it's gonna die. I feel like the sports media industry is so dominated by such a small number of players that it would take some kind of revolution to actually see some kind of serious change. But right now, the sort of independent outlet of just who you might call like professional fans, like you and Jacob and Kenny, guys who don't fancy themselves bona fide analysts, but rather just hyper enthusiastic content creators who, happen to use the sport as the subject matter which they're enthused about. I feel like that sort of two lanes are both going to expand because the mainstream sports media, I feel like it's not going away anytime soon. But what is more likely to me, rather than like one overtaking the other, is that the money from the mainstream is sort of going to trail off and bleed into the independent scene,
Yeah.
where you see talented individuals kind of get bought up by large networks. Like playmakers is something that's toxic and dangerous, and but even like not on that scale, but rather actually being willing to fund cool creative projects, but also not have that fully independent creative control over what they're producing. Like turn guys who are just people in their bedrooms being fans into guys who make a little bit more money doing what they do and are mostly living out their dreams, but ultimately kind of have to filter out their messaging a little bit to be a little bit more watered down and a lot more easy to control from that same mainstream media outlet.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about the mainstream media outlets in terms of like sports is that they can control a narrative, and when they spin it up just right, that's when it drives the most attention.
Yeah.
And have these sort of hero stories like what they did with the NBA Reformation Project post Magic and Bird by gifting Michael Jordan this god status and following him on his, heroic trail to being the GOAT and then coming back and three-peating again. They're trying to, imitate that same process with LeBron James, and now we're trying to look to see who's going to be the next guy. Was it going to be like Zion Williams or Giannis or who the fuck ever,
Yeah.
It's all part of a large effort to control the narrative in an effort to generate the most revenue for themselves.
That's true. I feel.
I don't think
Go
it's going to
ahead.
stop the independent sector. I think that sort of narrative informing activity
Mm.
is going to kind of infiltrate the independent scene in the next 7 years.
I feel like we should have used different terms. I feel like mainstream media. We should have just used traditional media, because I feel like the independent scene, at least to me, in 7 years, it will become the mainstream form of media. Because why would you tune into just ESPN when you can pick and choose the creators you want to support, the takes you want to hear for free as well, and support it that way? Or you can even pay for a Patreon or whatever it is, plug to the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, why not just pick and choose the creators you want to support instead of supporting these big medias that you're kind of just, in years past you're forced to when you buy a fucking cable plan. Like, oh shit, this is where I get my sports takes. It's ESPN. I guess that's it. Like, now people have the choice. However, I think what Rudy touched on, what that's really important, is I don't think traditional media will ever leave, simply for the fact that, at least with the NBA, they're going to want to have some sort of platform where they can control the narrative. Because if it is all just independent creators, then it's up to us to create the narratives, to create who's popping, who's not. But if there's still traditional media in some sort of way, then the NBA can have some control on who they want to market, the stories they want to spin, the talents they want to promote or not to promote, as we've seen with Paul Pierce. He just got fired because he was partying and smoking weed. But yeah, that's my take on sports media. Real quick, Dom, if you want to fix your camera real quick, I don't know what the fuck
Oh my
happened.
God, what the fuck?
You see that?
I don't know what happened to you, Dom.
This dude right here. Are you?
Down for 2 seconds and shit went to shit. What the hell?
No, you're good. You're good. That's
How
like
much do you think that
Straight.
like millennials and Gen Z really care about the uh the value of selecting who entertains them? Because I feel like Gen X and older, they tend to be more in favor of like a passive selection. Like they grew up with like radio and television where they're getting a curated thing put in front of them,
yeah.
and they're not really making many choices beyond like what channel to tune into, right? Whereas like millennials and Zoomers, we grew up with like Spotify and iTunes and piracy and YouTube.
Yeah.
It was very easy to get to see whatever you wanted to see at any time. Do you think there's still value to sort of that passive experience of like, hey, we'll curate this and select it for you and just put it in front of you? Because that's what TikTok is for the most part. And that shit's, probably fucking doubling in
Yeah.
size every year. Seeming.
Well, I guess it's the illusion of choice. Because really, like, with YouTube at least, obviously you do have the option to search shit up. But most of the people really watch their shit through the homepage. Same thing with TikTok, the For You page, Instagram. That's not even like a chronological thing now. It's based off your interest. Same thing with their Explore page, Twitter as well. So it's definitely an illusion of choice. But I feel like just having that feeling that you do have a choice is appealing than what has been the past 30, 40 years. Um yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like it's definitely gonna be interesting, bro. I ain't gonna lie, cause it's the same thing in the music industry. There's this conversation of how long will labels last? Like, why not just go independent, like what Russ is doing for all musicians?
Mm-hmm.
But there's this conversation of, how important are labels? Some people think they're very important. Some people don't. Dom, you have a face right now. What's your opinion? I don't know what your opinion is on this.
For one, no independent artist can do what Russ is doing. Well, not say that. Russ isn't a independent artist. He's independent in terms of he ain't signed to a major label, but the nigga's dad is in the industry. Like he's plugged in. Chance the Rapper, independent artist, yeah, but he's plugged in with a ton of people that can get his stuff out there more than the average independent rapper. With independent, like the independent route, it's cool if you want all your money. Like you'll get all your money, that's fine. You're not getting on the radio is like it's not an easy route. And with how music is right now, labels dominate the rap game. Like labels dominate music in general. The only way you could really go out here and really succeed independently and get money is if you are a YouTube rapper. That's it. Like that's the only route you can take where you can make a profit off of it. Like other than that, you're gonna need to like you can go independent. You gonna need a distribution deal. You're gonna have to mess with a label at some point if you really want to get money out of this. If you really want to make it big, there's no making it mainstream as an independent rapper without dealing with labels. Like they're legit knuckles deep in the game. Like they are plugged in. Like there are a million labels and they're all plugged in everywhere. You can't get through the rap game without going through a label. So they might not be important,
Yeah.
but they legit control rap.
See
So
that's the
something
thing with
happens
labels. I feel like they've done a great job of adjusting to the new age with streaming, YouTube, and all of this, and still being like 10 toes down with it, being very impactful. So I guess the question with sports, the reason I brought it up is the question is with sports is ESPN, is the NBA, is the NFL going to do the same thing that labels are doing, where at some point it still is going to be required to work with them to some degree, and you can't just be a true independent content creator, or at least for a majority of the big names out there.
I mean, does my question would be: is NBA Playmakers is that like an affiliate of the NBA? Like, are they directly from the NBA?
Yep.
So even with the NBA, I don't know. Like, I would have to ask some dudes to make NFL content because I don't know the NFL scene is or anything like that or other sports. But you like, I mean, what you can't even be an independent like content creator no more. Like they restricted the ability to use actual highlights and clips and stuff like that to where you would have to work with an NBA Playmakers to do it, and that's an affiliate of the NBA. That's kind of like how the label is. Like NBA playmakers ain't shit but a big ass label. Like that's what a label is.
Not a good one.
What NBA playmakers is, that's a label. Like that's what that is. So, and they put people like you were with them, like you're with them, or I forgot which one it was, but they're in a situation where it's like, all right, well, you're getting copyright struck if you use NBA content trying to monetize it. Come with us, and we'll make it happen for you. Like that's what,
allegedly.
That's what labels. Well, allegedly.
They never ended up doing
it. On GTA, you know, that's what labels do. Labels come to rappers like, hey man, look, you popping, you buzzing in your city, but they're not listening to you in LA on the radios. They're not listening to you in New York on the radios. I'm right here, bro. Here's a 50K advance, man. Sign a dotted line. Now you out here getting booty banded for your money, and you only getting that 50K and whatever you make on tour. Like I keep making this back to music, but yeah, like I don't think there's a way where. I think eventually it's going to get to that point on YouTube to where you have to work with all these sports, like whatever sport it is, you have to work with them to actually use their content for yourself or for your channel or whatever you're doing.
The thing about music is, like, when you're trying to make it, like, big in the music scene, the assumption is already a millionaire. With a YouTuber, like, being a big YouTuber is just making 6 figures a year pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So...
I mean, but... Well, go ahead.
So I feel like if you're trying to be an independent music creator, I don't think... Because you said obviously radio plays a part, and I'm not really that in tune with the music scene, but I don't think it'd be that extremely hard to make a living making music as an independent musician. Like making 50, 70, 80K a year. Like you don't need a label to do that. Obviously it would help.
No. Well, yeah, if the argument is to make a living out of it being independent, yeah, you can do that. You put the work in. Like I said, if you want to do that, you have to do it on YouTube. Like YouTube would be the way to do that. Like, yeah, you can. There's ways you can make it without. I mean, you can make it independent and make a living. That's fine. But if we're talking in terms of just making it in a rap game, like legit making it, like trying to be a millionaire or a $500,000 type, like a year type of person instead of just that 70,000 or whatever, then yeah, you're gonna have to work with the labels. Like, and it's not just radio. It's like, all right, playlist placement. Like that's a big thing now. Like with those, like the Rap Caviars and all these playlists and everything like that, you don't get on there as an independent artist without connections. Yeah. And that is vital. Like getting on those playlists are vital for your streaming numbers.
I never realized how big playlists are, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I'd just go on Spotify and I was like, oh, cool. They have a playlist for me. Yeah. Apparently, it's really big for the music scene, bro.
Listen, like legit, because so many people, like for example, Rap Caviar has however millions and millions of followers. Like the shit has like 10 million plus followers,
which is wild.
So that's a lot of that's a lot of motherfuckers listening on the daily. Whether that's they're listening they're going and just hitting play, or they're hitting shuffle. So regardless, you have all those people streaming those songs on that thing on that. God forbid they find a song they like. Now they add that to their catalog, or they go and check out the rest of your music. That's important. Like honestly, right now the biggest things in the rap game are TikTok and playlists. Like those are the two
TikTok
things
is
like really
crazy.
Killing it.
TikTok is crazy, right? I ain't gonna lie,
TikTok
bro.
TikTok is wild.
Do y'all think TikTok was a game changer for the positive or for the negative?
Both.
More positive. Like if you would have to lean towards one or the other.
I have to pick. Man, I'm in my personal opinion, negative, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm saying negative. I ain't gonna lie.
Why so?
What about you, Rudy?
I mean, it's tough. I've kind of have mixed feelings about it because on the one hand, it's like one of those super addicting, like very designed applications that's only meant to care for how long you spend in it, not exactly how good it is for you. But on the other hand, it does seem like a really effective tool at spreading information really, really fast. Because, I mean, it's an app I enjoy using a whole lot. But if I'm not careful, I'll get sucked into it for like 4 fucking hours, like easily.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Bro, that's an easy little pastime, bro. When I'm studying, like
Man,
let me go on TikTok real quick. 30 minutes fast. Like, yo, I'm trying to get back, and then it's just hard, bro. It's just hard. The one thing I will say about TikTok is that before it blew up in 2019, 2020, there really was a big question of how like the longevity of vertical video. Like how are we gonna implement vertical video aside from just stories? And I think TikTok really showed that you can make a whole last fucking career off of vertical video. So I think that's really cool with TikTok. Very different in that sense. A lot of careers have started because of it. And it's catapulted some of, you know, people we've known on Twitter, YouTube and shit cuz it's a new lane and it's easy to dominate. But yeah, in terms of the health factors and how it affects you mentally, it's more negative than positive. But in terms of succeeding, man, hey, it's putting the numbers, bro. It's putting the numbers.
man, look, as a person who is actively trying to make TikToks and trying to make it on there,
Yeah.
I'm saying, bro, TikTok is a curse. One, because the algorithm is so spotty. Like, what a lot of people on there are saying, like, a lot of the creators on TikTok, which I didn't even realize at first, but now that I think about it, that shit is so fucking spot on with the algorithm. The algorithm isn't spotty. What it is if it sees you're constantly uploading, it's gonna blow you up. It's gonna give you a viral video to give you a taste of what it's like to go viral, so you can keep trying to go viral. And now you're stuck on the app. Now you're trying to see what's trending. Now
That's
you're
what
trying to
happened
see
with
what
me.
is everybody doing to get video. That's what happened with me. I got
Yeah.
700. At first, I'm just posting a post. I get 700K. Oh shit! How can I make it so people like see it and stay on it? How can I do this and that? Like it gets strategical like that, and I think that's what their game plan is. I don't think it's just TikTok has random algorithm. You post something and it blows up. It's random. No, it's not random. It's strategic. Like they know what they're doing. They're trying to get you hooked. It's like drugs. It's what it is. It's like a drug. They get you hooked on it. Like TikTok it's filled with nothing but people who either A, have platforms they're trying to boost up even more on a newer platform,
Yeah.
or B, people without a platform that want a platform. So if you go viral and you're getting all this attention you're not used to, you're like, shit, I can dominate this. This could be my shit. Now you keep trying. Then you don't get views. So now you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Now you're scouring TikTok to figure out what the hell you can do to do better. You pop up with another viral video, found it out, and the cycle repeats. And that's the fuck I'm going through. And this shit is ridiculously stressful.
Yeah. The only thing about TikTok is I think out of all the media platforms, the value of a follow is the least on TikTok. Cause the thing is the For You page. Like no one, like it's rare you will really go to your following page. I don't know how y'all view TikTok, but it's really just the For You page. Also in terms of working with brands, when they look at 600,000 views and they know it's just mostly from the For You page and people are going to scroll past it 90% of the time, then how valuable is that in terms of working with brands compared to a YouTube video where most of it are from returning subscribers, most of it are from loyal fans that will stick and watch your videos consistently and will actually click on the video, click on the link you put in the description.
TikTok won't even you out of the app almost ever. Like if you put a link almost anywhere in the whole app, it won't be clickable, on the other end. So, I mean, they just want to keep you on the app more than anything else.
That's what I'm saying.
Or like third-party advertiser friendly. If you could be like, click on the link in my description, but like, no, you got to go all the way to the profile of the person who made the TikTok to find one place to find links.
Yeah.
Like many taps away.
Yeah, and even if you get a following on there, like converting that to a YouTube following doesn't really work. I ain't gonna or even an Instagram. Like maybe a third will go to Instagram because there's a big correlation between
that.
Yeah, because at least with Instagram there's a correlation with it, especially with the TikTok / IG models. But when you're creating like a podcast through TikTok or YouTube, the conversion rate, especially with a podcast, I believe, because like if you're watching podcasts highlights on TikTok that are 60 seconds, it's gonna be really hard to convert you to listen to a whole 3-hour podcast on the shit. with all the breaks in between, and it's not crisp cut edited, just the best of it on your screen. And even on YouTube as well, the difference between a 30 to 60-second video that's vertical to a 10 to 15-minute video plus on YouTube, even 5 is a big that's 5 times the length that's horizontal. I think that's an extremely big ask for the viewer. So if you want to grow big on TikTok, just be committed to TikTok, bro. But converting that to different platforms, unless you're fucking Charlie D'Amelio, who has the most followers on the app. She has like 120 million or some shit. So literally 10% conversion to YouTube is 10 million. So it is what it is, man. It is.
I wonder how soon TikTok's like creator program or whatever it's actually called is going to actually be competitive with YouTube.
I heard it's ass.
I mean, I know it's ass, but like, give it like 5 years, whatever. What this landscape's going to look like.
I figured out. I've heard about the little creator, little partner thing after I hit my fucking 1,000 followers on there. I didn't know what the fuck, because you got to get 10,000 followers and 10,000 monthly viewers to actually start getting paid or to qualify for the partner program, whatever it is, right? So I never knew like how much they paid until I seen this dude put a TikTok out of saying like, oh, I finally did a conversion. I did a chart to see how many views I would need on TikTok to help pay my mom's tuition, and his mom's tuition was like $500,000.
God damn.
That's what I said. I'm like, what the fuck? What is she trying to do? Anywho, he said that, and then it said 24.7 million views. I'm like,
that's not bad.
That's not bad for 500,000. 24. I think I'm up here like, how much they paying you niggas? Oh no, I gotta get on my grind. Wait a minute, 500,000 is 24 million views for $500,000. That's I'm like, and he's like, that's why I know TikTok got my back, and that TikTok had 2 mil. I'm like, nigga, you all drop a couple more, you there, bro? Like, So I honestly feel like it can really be competitive, like super competitive with like everything else.
Yeah, I think the CPMs obviously are definitely low, because on YouTube, it's like what, $10 per 1,000 views, when 1,000 views on YouTube is much more valuable than 1,000 on TikTok. So I think in TikTok land, you'd have to look at it like per 10,000 views, really. I feel like 1,000 views on YouTube is equivalent to like 10,000, 15,000 on TikTok. Is that like a fair conversion? I feel like it is.
I mean, I've only got 1,000 views like twice on YouTube. I wouldn't know.
But yeah, I think Rudy, to answer your question, I think it could be very competitive, very competitive. Real quick, shout out to TSO Sage with the rate of 27.
Big Sage,
Big Sage. Big Sage coming on next Sunday, man. Stay tuned. Shout out to y'all, man. We're just talking about TikTok. I don't know how we got here. How the fuck did we get here, bro?
Shit, and we were talking about Kenny, his 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, we went from Kenny to TikTok. Like, I don't know how that
segued all the way into.
I think we was talking about like growth or some shit or social media.
So yeah, some shit like that. Some entrepreneur shit. I'm saying, hey, big bags on the way.
Speaking of TikToks, go follow the boy, Dom Church 97 on TikTok.
Yes, sir. Yo, Rudy, how are your Grizzlies doing, man? I know you're a big Grizzlies fan. What's the life of a Grizzlies fan like these days?
I mean, it's pretty mundane, nothing special.
God damn.
I love my Grizzlies, for real. I mean, we're doing pretty good, considering that we've been missing Jaren Jackson Jr. all year. But, I mean, I'm one of the biggest proponents of John Morant. You'll find out there. I think that dude is, like, super, super, super special.
So what did you feel about all this recent John Morant hate this year, man? Your boy Rusty made the most overrated young superstar in the league type shit, and it's not just him. It's a lot of people on social media saying that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like entering the season there was this perception of John Morant where people just decided that he was overrated, and now I feel like the window has sort of shifted in the other direction. You know, the pendulum is swaying, and now people just tend to talk about how shitty he is, like he's not even there, just because he can't shoot and he's small. But like, whatever, man, he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that shit is wild. Real quick, shout out to CMV for the 10 gifted. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes,
Gifted.
sir.
Shout
Yes,
out the JV out here dropping 34 and 22 in a losing effort as the Grizzlies fall to the Pacers.
Didn't Enos
Sorry,
Cancer
Rudy.
drop like 20 points and 30 rebounds today?
It wouldn't
I don't
surprise
know.
I heard he did, bro.
That's crazy. And didn't Tatum drop like 50? What? He dropped 50.
Yo, last night got me. 2 nights ago got me heated, bro. Yeah, I saw Zach LaVine. I saw it on my fucking timeline. Zach LaVine has 36 by half. I'm like, I did the math real quick. I'm like, hey, he might drop 81. So by halftime, I start recording a video. You know what I'm saying? Editing. You know what I'm saying? Watching the game. This motherfucker scores like 9 points in the second half. Like, okay, cool. You got the 50, but like, bro, come on, man. Give me a trending video, man. Come on now. I still pulled it out though. Quick 3 out of 10. The thumbnail was too fire, but
I feel it.
yeah.
Rudy, I want to ask you. When it comes to John Morant, because it seems that you're the Nick Wright of John Morant, though, right now. What's a good player comparison for him? Like, when you see John Morant, you think he can be the one? I don't like to say. I want to stay away from saying players can be the next whatever. But right now we're going to do it. So he's the next.
I mean, you look at his career trajectory, like just on paper, and you consider his game as well. I think he has the potential to be like very Chris Paul-esque.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Like Chris Paul with bunnies. I mean, that's a bona fide superstar. I don't give a shit that he's small. Like,
do you think he can get there defensively, like Chris Paul?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. Because I mean, defense is fucking at least 50% just effort, you know. And a lot of it's just knowing where to be. And I know he's smart enough to figure out where to be on the court as a guy who needs to get off the team's best player most possessions. I mean, it's not like he gets left and right or anything like that. And he's gotten pretty good at not dying on screens this year. But my biggest thing is the shooting, not so much the defense. It's like Chris Paul at this point in his career being like a 21-year-old sophomore. He was already a pretty okay shooter. Yeah. But Ja has not had that summer where he's like, all right, let me retool my jump shot, figure a couple things out, and start rebuilding the foundation of my jump shot.
I think he'll have. I think he'll be forced to at some point. So I don't even think that's a big problem.
Why?
Because he can't shoot.
His shot doesn't look but his shot doesn't look broken. Like his shot doesn't. It doesn't look like there's anything mechanically wrong with it.
I mean, it's a little slow, and he's a little twisted up when he's shooting. I'd like to see something that's a little bit more automatic, a little bit less force, because I think he tends to dip the ball pretty severely.
Yeah,
and it kind of makes it look like a 2-stage motion rather than like a fluent, like one motion shot. But
it's not even that. It's just more his ability to create more space off the dribble and knock that shot down. That's really what it is. I don't think mechanically, like Dom said, he has the tools to be a good to even great shooter. Great might be stretching, but a good shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like 40, 30, high 30s, 40% from 3.
It's not like he has some garbage sense of trajectory and like he's just some naturally shitty shooter. I mean, the dude makes pinpoint passes at the last second and makes all these crazy floaters. And
unlike Ben Simmons,
nice finish at the rim. Exactly. Except he doesn't shoot the wrong hand.
Yo, what's up with this Ben Simmons defense on Twitter, bro? What are the takes that annoy you about Ben Simmons?
Dude, I mean, just when people obviously just act like he's fucking garbage because he can't shoot. I mean, there's people who are acting like fucking Fred VanVleet is better than Ben Simmons, you know, like that, like on the but,
in the playoffs.
In the playoff, Dom. In the playoffs,
Baby Drake.
You
taking
you would
Baby
rather
Drake.
have Fred VanVleet than Ben
I'd
Simmons?
rather have Baby Drake, bro. He don't shoot with the
Seriously?
wrong hand.
Deadass?
I mean, he just has more experience. So, like, I get it. I respect the take. But, I mean, Ben Simmons is just too talented not to figure out his very brief playoff woes. I'm confident that the Sixers would have gone as far as the Heat last year if Ben Simmons didn't get hurt. You know,
But he did. It's all right, bro. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out
hypothetically.
to the Celtics. Yeah. My Lakers won the chip, so it's all good.
This dude. But real quick, with Ja, I didn't think Ja was that small. How tall is Ja?
He's listed at 6'3", but the time I saw him in person, like up close and personal, got his autograph and shit, he did not even feel 6'3". Like, that dude is 6'2" max for sure. He's
He
a
didn't seem like he was 6'3".
very normal sized person.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I felt Jacob more in the room than you know.
Jeez.
Right
Okay.
here.
All right.
Jacob
All right. I feel that.
taller than John Morant.
But it's funny when we think about NBA players. Like I seen a video of Little Baby and Harden in the studio together, and Harden's 6'6", so it's like standing next to Little Baby. That nigga really looks 6'6", but when you see him on a basketball court, you're like,
Yeah.
Some dude.
average looking nigga. Like that nigga's pretty average size. That's average size. He looks like an average size guy on the court.
That shit is wild.
It's crazy how the perception of basketball players change once you see them next to actual normal sized people. I just thought that was
Well,
crazy.
I
But for
know.
you to say,
I know Dom's
Go
over
ahead.
6 feet, but even like when we talk about Isaiah Thomas and how small he is, even when I talk about it, I'm like, bro, if I met Isaiah Thomas right now, I'd still be looking up a little bit. Like,
I'm like, he's definitely taller than me.
yeah, so shout out IT,
yeah,
man.
I'm looking over him. I can use him as like a little stand. Like, hey, what's up, IT?
Let's do it right
Hey,
here.
shout out to IT getting signed. I don't know if he's got cut yet, but
I might say after that performance he had his first night, he probably getting cut.
I thought he had a good game.
He had 10 points, shooting 4 for 13 from the field. He had more shots than points.
I thought
Yeah.
he did have a good game. Like one of them. One of
Whatever.
those games. Whatever, dude. He got in the league.
that's Kobe-esque.
I'm saying, if LeVar Ball can claim that he had 3 sons be in the NBA because one of them made the fucking practice team,
Right.
IT made a comeback.
The worst team in the
Is
league.
that not the NBA though?
Bro, stop, bro.
It's the NBA practice.
Till the NBA season starts. I don't even think the NBA season is like even real until after the All-Star break. Like, I think it's all just, warm up.
Facts, dude.
Like, we just get like a feel for what we already know,
Yeah.
get a surprise, maybe two, and then from there it's like, all right, now the season's begun. We watch them get together in the one place and play the exhibition game all together. Now the season has begun.
Hey, once I see them games on ABC, I know it's real. Once it said on ABC, that's the real games. But the ones
Over
on,
the airwaves, ain't gotta pay for it.
Yeah,
Public
but
television.
the first that I think that's tough for me as a content creator because obviously like I talk about basketball, but I know like really nothing matters until at least the All-Star break. So it's like what am I making a video on right now? Like, but
Yeah, it's all just fodder for trade season.
yeah,
Basketball games aren't even real.
big facts.
But it's really suspicious how the Grizzlies got their COVID delay, right? And then upon the NBA's opportunity to rework their schedule, they have like 7 games and 10 nights at the end of the season. It's like all on the road. And the Warriors, who are, in a similar position trying to get into the play-in tournament, have like 12 straight days at home or something like that.
What the fuck? Well, you guys have 7 games in 10 days.
Some crap like that. Like,
What the fuck?
intense schedule at the end of the year. Lots of road trips. It's literally just to keep Ja Morant out of the playoffs over.
It's that media, man. It's that old school media, man. It's crazy. They don't want Ja Morant to win.
NBA's rigged, man. Like, I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy or anything like that. I'm a level-headed dude, but But the one NBA conspiracy theory I believe in wholeheartedly is that every NBA draft is rigged. Or draft
Jesus
Mm.
every single
Christ.
one.
We
Like
we
the whole
had
purpose of the lottery is to rig it.
we had a debate about that with Dom and Omar as well, bro.
Can I
Dom
ask you
doesn't
one
believe
question,
it's
Rudy?
rigged, bro.
Rudy, just tell me one thing, bro.
What's good?
Tell me how the 1977 NBA draft was rigged.
It didn't have
1977.
one. No.
Yeah, I thought the draft was
Did
in
they
like
not?
80
Yeah,
or
wasn't the
80.
first one with Patrick Ewing?
The first one was the most obviously rigged one.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay,
Get
take
your
it back.
facts straight,
Tell me
bro.
how.
Yeah, this motherfucker.
All right. Tell me how the
Uh-oh.
1995 draft was rigged.
I mean, dude, I don't know. I'm not a draft lottery historian. I don't know every detail.
Well,
But I just the
let's look
purpose of
at
the draft lottery was to
Let's
rig
look at
it.
the 95 draft. Let's just see
Yeah.
who the number one pick was. That wasn't shit. Nah, Shaq was 3?
92, I think.
Bro, all I'm saying was that
92, 93?
in a two-person draft, the NBA's two least money-making teams, the smallest markets, got the 1 and 2 picks against, the likelihood of the odds. It went Zion, New Orleans, Ja to Memphis.
Right after AD left too.
Right?
After the grit and grind era left in Memphis, it's just here's
So
Ja Morant.
we never
Wasn't they asked though?
Yeah, we're bud. Make no mistake.
They were trash. It's like, the Green Grind era ends. They had to rig it for us. No, y'all rigged them damn stat sheets when y'all lost. Like, it's trash. The Pelicans were trash. Like, A didn't even play like half the season. He was sitting half the season, then played half-ass the other half. Like, the niggas were trash that year.
Well, I thought it would be New York. I thought it'd be the Knicks getting Zion to set themselves up to get Kyrie and KD with
Come
Zion.
on, man. Everyone knows the NBA don't fuck with the Knicks, bro. The Knicks
See that's the
Knicks
thing.
Yeah, they're making enough money on their own. They don't need to be uplifted by talent.
But that's the thing.
Facts.
I agree to an extent that the draft is rigged, but I feel like if it really was, the Knicks wouldn't be as bad as they are, because I think the NBA would benefit tremendously from where the fuck did Dom go? But from the Knicks being great. So that's my only thing. Where did Dom go? What the fuck?
Here, let me poke my head up on stream. So
This dude right here. What the hell? Hold on, let me DM him. I feel like his fucking phone died.
And look, I'm not saying that like every pick is hand selected with like a methodical, hypothetical order being predicted by the NBA gods or whatever. But I do think that they have a vested interest in creating the best storylines to get the most attention, to make the most money. And that leaving it all in chaos is not in their best interest. And that's why the lottery happens behind closed doors and we just find out the results on TV.
That is true. Yeah, why is it behind closed doors? Why not do it publicly?
Like, just give us the tension of a real life moment being live on air. Like, that's cool shit. Let's see that.
But instead, let's just have the final. Interesting. Yeah. Instead, let's just have the fucking final results on screen. Keep that attention. And have like fucking 5 commercials between the last 3 announcements. But
I mean, even then, like the guys that they have witnessing the actual lottery are like representatives of the team, and I'm pretty sure they're supposed to not talk about the whole process and stuff. But even so, it would be very easy to just like set it up in such a way to where there's the illusion of a random thing happening in front of some witness, and then you're like, "Oh, look, you got the 8th pick." Like it wouldn't be that hard to pull off that close-up magic trick.
Or at least do the top 5, bro. Like you don't have to do all 60 or not all 14, but
right. I'm just saying, like 5. Derrick Rose going to Chicago as the number 1, instead of Michael Beasley. That makes a lot of sense. AD going to New Orleans under NBA ownership, post Chris Paul. That makes a lot of sense. the Cavaliers getting lucky after lucky after lucky
Yeah.
bounce or what, however the lottery allegedly works kinetically.
Supposedly, you know what I'm saying? Is it right here?
You know, I just think all these great stories that come out of the draft lottery are just fabricated. I don't think that
Mm.
reach.
Rudy, here's some
Can
great clips.
all entertainment anyway.
These are clippable moments, one might say. Hey. Shout out YouTube clips. Real quick, dude, I'm on FaceTime Dom. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, yeah. I still gotta put my
Live
chin
on
up on the
air.
screen.
Yeah, it's alright. I don't have a layout for 2 people.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'll make it work for the chat.
He's still there, bro. He's still there. What the hell?
Damo.
Damo. Well, if he's not here in like 30 minutes, we can just close out the pod. We're approaching the hour 10 mark anyways.
Word.
But
I'm excited for you know, my my future of posting more of my own shit because I've been putting that off for so long now. It's something that I've been looking forward to a lot lately. I'm doing this podcast today, kind of, you know, do a little bit of a publicity tour, doing another podcast that I think is like brand new for some friends from Locker Room.
Making connections on there, man. Are you doing NBA content or?
Yeah, I'm trying to do something where I bring you in with some NBA subject matter and just bring you down like my political rabbit hole that just goes through my mind thinking about whatever topic. Rose streams in the chat says, "Say Asher, yo," and like, yeah, that's the podcast I'm referring to is Rose and Asher's podcast.
Plug. Look at Locker Room making connections, man. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something that's kind of like some more news. If you're familiar with that program, it's just an internet news show, or like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but a little bit different, and just try to do like one important news story every week, and just kind of extrapolate on it as much as I can to get to whatever political endpoint I see appropriate.
So are you gonna go from sports to politics, like deliberately? Is that the
Well,
plan, or?
here's the thing. Like, I think politics is sort of mixed in everything in an unavoidable and just completely inescapable way. And this is just sort of my way to use sports, which is traditionally a place that is pretty free of those sorts of discussions, as to serve as like a, I don't know, a form of like safe place for escapism or something like that. But I think it's just so inescapable that more people should be interested in it and see it in particular ways. So I just try to convey those messages through topics they already understand in sports. Like, I think understanding players in sports leagues as not the billionaire ruling class or whatever that people talk about when they say like tax the rich. They're a lot more like the working class who's getting their labor exploited from owners who contribute nothing and, you know, take all the revenue for themselves. So I think talking about an analogy like that is a good way to turn people on to political thinking because it's about something that they didn't otherwise see as political. But in the end, almost everything is actually political in some way. So I don't think it'd be too hard to generate some more or less evergreen and topical content sort of at the same time in a similar way that, like, again, like Last Week Tonight or Some More News does.
Yeah.
But for sports.
No, I feel like that's definitely unique enough, and definitely that's harder than ever to make something unique. But I've never heard that idea, so I definitely try it out. You know what I'm saying? Try it out for 2-3 months, see how it goes.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I got a whole other channel set up and all that stuff. So hopefully it goes well.
It's definitely way easier said than done, but I would recommend for starting creators to, like, literally the first 2 months they're on YouTube, challenge yourself to make 20 videos don't look at the sub count, don't look at the views, and just evaluate those videos at the end of that 2 month mark. I feel like that'd be very beneficial. But
Yeah, for sure. You always want to get your reps in. That's the thing I emphasize the most when talking to small content creators, because I really love small content creators, especially in like the sports scene, because they're every bit as valid as the guys who have hundreds of thousands or millions of subs or whatever, but they just aren't getting the attention, you know? And so there's a certain like Wild West element to small time NBA YouTube that I find really cool.
mhm.
But anytime I talk to those guys, I always just emphasize the importance of getting your reps in and focusing on almost nothing else, but just fucking practicing what you want to make. You know, because as a creative person, it's really easy to visualize and get all caught up in the ideals about what it is that you want to make, but it's a whole nother thing to actually partake in the creative process and make shit happen, by actually creating stuff. So
For sure,
just
for sure.
you said, and getting as many reps in as you can in the beginning is especially important.
Yeah. All
Like, I
facts,
think I
man.
did 40 episodes of my podcast in like just a few months. Like I think I did it for about 6 months or so, and I did 40 episodes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I did that by just doing it basically whenever I felt like it. And with podcasts, with all you having to do is just really record, listen back, make sure you don't make any sort of monumental fuck up,
Mm-hmm.
and then upload it. No real super intense editing necessary. The amount of friction between having an idea and actually getting it out there in the world is really low in a podcast. So I think if you can get yourself to do a podcast, especially alone in the beginning, then at that point you'll have like a good foundation to build on as far as like a creative process.
But even at that, like technically a podcast is just like, depending on how you structure it, it could just be 3 different fucking recordings for 3 different videos. So podcasting is definitely versatile. Definitely versatile. And I talked to Dom about this, and Young Mustard as well on the last pod. Is like, I feel like if you can grab people's attention to a podcast as a brand, then I feel like that truly unlocks you being able to make really any conversation that you want. Because I feel like there are some videos that just won't do well on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube because it's not clickable enough. But if you get people to subscribe to a podcast and return every single pod, then you can really talk about anything. So I think podcasts are very powerful in that sense.
For sure. And if you can build an audience podcasting, especially where there's no like centralized search tool, like on YouTube and TikTok or whatever, you have algorithms just spitting out new faces to you constantly.
Yeah.
But on potting, you really don't have that at all. You got to find other ways to network and reach out to people to, help give you a little exposure, whatever else it is that you need. But when you get the actual people to listen to your show, then they're much more open to making time commitments to you, like perhaps watching a YouTube video, which is a third the length of the normal podcast that they would just listen to in the background.
Yep.
They're already in the habit of giving you that long form opportunity, so they're more likely to do it again in the future with other content. So
Yep.
it took me a while to go from making those podcasts to going onto YouTube, though, just because that extra pressure of like recording myself and then editing it a little bit more just added that level of friction where I was just comfortable for probably the first 20 episodes not even touching YouTube, even though the plan to start was to, in addition to uploading the podcast to, just your standard podcast feeds, but to also put it on YouTube.
Yeah. I also feel like there's a certain voice inflection when recording specifically for a video than just a podcast. Because when I record, at least, yeah.
Like the upbeat,
yeah. To some degree, at least, I feel like it definitely helps just bring people's attention to the video and shit. It's definitely, it's not just cutting up a conversation. like what we do with the podcast clips. And I feel like that's a big part of why it's difficult as well, is to transform something that's conversational into something shareable, especially in 30, 60 seconds or whatever it is. But yeah, man. Dom, I'll find out. I'll keep you updated on that.
I dropped that I thought the NBA draft lottery was rigged, and he just dipped out.
NBA was trying to come after you. They clicked on the wrong person. I was like, oh shit, we got Dom.
NBA collab.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, shout out to Rudy for coming on. Thank you again for taking the time out of your day to come on, and thank you for editing the pod and everything. So, but shout your shit out one more time, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you're listening, subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. I think I got like almost 700 subscribers now. So
let's get it to 1K, man.
Yeah, you can just search Hustle Points, and then watch out for Hustle Points news. It's just going to be like a weekly news show about the NBA. So watch out for that, and follow me on Twitter at NBA_Rudy.
Yes, sir.
So,
yeah,
me on, man.
Memphis NBA Twitter is the strongest like NBA Twitter community I know. I swear to God.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's just like tight group. You know what I'm saying? You guys just know everyone. It's like a small community college type vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So shout out Memphis Grizzlies Twitter. Shout out to everyone that came through for this pod. Shout out Dom, wherever you're at. Hope you're safe. Hope you're alive.
Right. R.I.P. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Dom. But shout out Patreon as well. And we will see you on Wednesday. Peace out. Peace out.